these greedy billionaires now want our bills to go. To think I thought scalping grocery prices was the extent of their greed, but these corporate executives really can't leave any stone unturned. Just this past week, nearly 50,000 Lake Tahoe residents are now being dropped by their power companies as those companies redirect their power to the massive billionaire-owned data center instead. In just 2024 alone, 135 hyperscale data centers were added, and as of January 2026, we now have over 2,300 active data centers in the United States, with 1,600 plus planned or in construction. What's a hyperscale data center, you ask? Well, unlike the data storage in the basement of an office building, these suckers can be over 224 acres in size, over 50 American football fields.
Giant warehouses are popping up across the US, more than 2 every week.
Speaking of America, we now have 37% of the world's data centers, and each and every one of them siphons resources from the local lands they are built upon. Whether that's water for cooling or electricity for their power, the locals' quality of life suffers as they lose access to basic household necessities. And to add insult to injury, our utility bills, yes, meaning you and me, not the company, they go up.
If you live in any of these states, your electric bill is higher this summer. It's not because of anything you did. You're paying more because the world's biggest tech companies are building so many data centers.
Like to the guy who commented overworked and under... Be careful what you wish for, bro, since we're getting railed pretty hard by corporations right now. Over the past 5 years, coincidentally, every single time a data center is built in a surrounding area, the locals experience an average increase of 267% on their electricity bills. That's not a small number. Remember, normal inflation is 3% a year, so they should have only gotten 50% higher bills in 5 years. Man, I wonder where the other 252% is coming from. The suspiciously 450 football-sized warehouse might be the cause. I don't know, guys. We live in the internet era. People can literally log on to their power company's online portal or even check their physical mailed letters, then see last year's payments, then compare it to the year when a data center was built near them, and boom, they can spot the difference and see these massive increases. It doesn't take a Harvard study for us to know this is a thing, but just in case it does, there are multiple websites that all use the exact 267% stat, meaning that we know.
Want us to stop building our electrical grid. Which adversary would want that? I got my guys to go a deep dig into the IP addresses, and here's what we found out. This is fascinating. We found 2 cells inside of Utah. Elevate Strategies. Gabby Finlayson. Gabby, what are you doing? And who's paying you? So
then when we don't fall for their brainwashing, they have the audacity to dox a normal citizen's IP address, call her out by name, declare she's a foreign spy, despite Kevin O'Leary being a foreigner who is trying to see a center in Utah's IP address. Call her out by name, declare she's a foreign spy, despite Kevin O'Leary being a foreigner who is trying to put a data center in Utah.
Let our citizens interrupt 60 cent planes. Signals to move with a controversial data center proposal announced by celebrity Canadian Kevin O'Leary.
These boomers still think they're slick, like it's the 1970s Soviet era, where as long as you control television, you had the public masses on your side. But we're not so gullible anymore. Any individual now can post something online and doesn't have to go through some filtered state-owned media or television channel. Now, unfortunately, anyone being able to post on social media does still mean anyone. So billionaire investment firms realized this and started buying out a bunch of YouTube channels. That way they can force them to make overly clean and soulless content straight off an assembly line, which pushes out grassroots creators like myself and many others who actually want to just work independently and not have a corporate agenda. Like, genuinely, it's insanely dystopian how far billionaire greed goes this day. This absolutely lines with the topic of this video, because it's sad to me that they really want every single penny from every single revenue stream. It's so disgusting that they are now buying businesses or individuals. Then these people don't even explain that they're owned by private equity firms who are literally owned by multi-trillion entities. Like, I do want to address this situation because it absolutely pertains to this video topic, and it's close to my heart as someone who's been creating on this platform for almost a decade. There's something magical and hope-inducing about any one of you who are watching. You can start yapping, editing, and posting about a topic, and someday make it big and successful. And I'm surrounded by plenty of other creators who started off doing just that. Sure, luck is absolutely a factor, but being self-made is part of the magic of YouTube. That's why they used to say, broadcast yourself. There's something so intangible and soulless about these industry plants, that's what I'm going to call them because that's what they are, who are funded by multi-billion, sometimes even trillionaire investment firms who can just pop up, push smaller creators out, pump out content way faster, utilize resources and connections far wider than what the normal creator would have access to. And this slowly makes this platform feel more like cable TV or state-owned media instead of something that used to celebrate individuals, independence, and self-made businesses. People watch you because they like you. Speaking of which, thank you guys so much for getting me to 900,000 followers. It is actually unbelievable. The dream of hitting 1 million, I genuinely didn't think would ever be possible in my lifetime. But Unc might actually be able to pay off all his cancer debt at this rate. Like, genuinely, you guys have changed my life, and I love and respect every single one of you guys for tuning in weekly to my Epidemic Slop. And subscribe if you're new here if you enjoy this Epidemic Slop. Anyways, and there are many other channels like this. People love them for them. I'm not against companies using YouTube if they are a small business, right? Just trying to get some of their products out. I'm not some user who's just going to be jealous of people who are wealthy, successful, or rich even. Like, listen, if you were to make $1 a second, you would be a millionaire in just 12 days. However, it still takes 31 years to become a millionaire. And now picture this. Actual multi-hundred billionaires exist in this world who accumulated it much faster than 31 years. So let that sink in. They don't just have 1 billion or 10 billion. They literally can have hundreds of billion, and they got it faster than the 31-year example, meaning they're making multiple dollars a second.
Now, if you were to ask me, should billionaires even exist? I'm definitely on the no side. Like, I can't even fathom what you do with all that money. I don't think just because they have to pay their employees some more that they'd say, fuck it, it's billionaires. Before some people try to make it some political issue, no, both sides give them to their face. And I think what really ramped up the talk about billionaires online in the past 2 years is how much they've changed.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? Your head, yeah, well, yes, I don't know, I would, yes, okay, but if...
Get ideas and insights from experts in your field on LinkedIn.
If you want to sing bad enough.
If you'd let me make this point, please.
Including the perspective of the immigrant who has still often been the person who came to this country named
What? Eric, put down the crack pipe, snap back to reality. What? Pardon? Comparing AI to immigrants, huh?
So each time myself or many of my fellow Americans or other small business owners, even other millionaires, if they're complaining about multi-hundred billionaires, it's not senseless hate for wealth. I get that companies do need to exist, especially if they pay their employees well, because even Henry Ford wasn't as cartoonishly evil. Quite the opposite. He actually wanted his employees to actually buy the products they made.
In 1914, Henry Ford recognized that a workforce unable to afford the very products it built, or the time to enjoy them, was a threat to both business and economic growth, and demonstrating what a capitalistic economy could produce when workers were treated as participants in prosperity rather than disposable inputs.
I get that at the end of the day, millionaires are still needed as a baseline because they do invent great products that push humankind forward, like planes, like cars, like motorbikes, like smartphones that we use and computers too. I get that there are gonna be companies that are going to have a couple $100 million worth even, but there's something so jarring about a person, not a company, a person who has billions, multi-hundred billions worth, right? Let's not get cute here. That's not even remotely close to the same level of wealth that you and I would earn in our lifetimes. And the saddest part is, they still want more. Nothing we give will ever satisfy their greed. That's why they move into every corner of every single space we have, whether it's physical, online, or otherwise. Which is why if you truly love freedom and are a big fan of liberty, then these punks moving into our countrysides and backyards and making us pay for their electricity bills should enrage you. When it comes to this topic, there is no right versus left, blue versus red, or whatever they try to divide us with. The reality is, it's just us versus them. The American people versus the elites. Because my fellow Americans who are exercising their First Amendment right to protest these data centers are heroes. They are not domestic terrorists, and I refuse to label them as such, no matter what those loser billionaires or politicians try to say. Those are my fellow Americans out there, freely speaking their mind, which is something that should be dearly protected.
Investing trillions of dollars, selling out every piece of land in this country for AI data centers to help us. But now, I think the cracks are starting to show. I think the truth is starting to leak out, and, well, don't worry, BlackRock has solutions for that. Larry Fink made a really cool statement about how they're going to protect it from the domestic terrorists that might not want AI data centers, which I think is a really cool label to be slapping on normal, average working people that just don't want to see their energy bills skyrocket and their water get turned into sludge soup. This is so far the biggest public goat-seeing from the data center epidemic.
Chapter 1, K-Shaped Sadness. Unfortunately, our protests fall on deaf ears since we are no longer the customers or even the people of this country. It's now run by the rich for the rich. Why sell to a bunch of middle-class Americans for a few bucks each when you can just sell a multi-billion-dollar pay package to another corporation? That's what these losers at the top started realizing as they traded away their humanity for short-term